Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and today I'm going to be playing a game in my ELC Even 90 on the map Tundra. I don't think I've showcased this tank on this channel before, but the ELC Even 90 is a strange animal. I'm not quite sure how I enjoy it yet, just because it is very, very difficult to use and kind of underwhelming for its tier, but you get it in the right situation, and it does seem to be a lot of fun, but sometimes it's very frustrating, especially against tier 10 vehicles. So in this situation, I am trying to take the hill. I feel like taking the hill would be advantageous. There's not a whole lot of other opportunities for this ELC to shine on this map unless I'm able to take high ground. Excuse me. Unfortunately, as you can see, the hill is mobbed by the 3 light tanks that are currently in the game, and I decide it's in my best interest to fall back. Now, as a light tank player, you have to utilize your 2 main advantages, one being camouflage and the second being your top speed. When you get yourself into a situation, there's absolutely no reason to commit. The second I saw those light tanks approaching the hill, I knew that if I stayed any longer than I had been, I would die. So I immediately flipped my tank around, got out of there, only taking 1 shell in damage, whereas a lot of times people would have died in that. So here I am taking pot shots at this T-34. I actually don't know why I decided to fire that 3rd time. I should have just reloaded. But I decided to play a little bit passively, and I'm not really sitting here in order to fire at the hill. I mean, if I have the opportunity, I will. But the main reason I'm sitting here is because I have a tier 6 Dicker Max sitting here. They don't have the best view range, and I want to be able to spot those light tanks that are hiding on the hill. I decide, though, that sitting there isn't going to be super productive, so I decide to change my location and possibly help out the 1 line. They have a Panther M10, a KV-85, and a King Tiger pushing that flank with only a couple heavy tanks. Granted, the T-29 is a very strong tier 7 tank, but this is a tier 8 game, and if they get pushed on the 1 line, we're going to really lose this game quickly, because I don't know how we're going to win the 0-9 line as well. So again, I would say that when you're playing a light tank, the first and foremost, the most important thing you want to keep in mind is try to stay alive for the entire duration of the battle, which is not what a lot of light tanks do. A lot of light tank players are usually the first to die, and they throw away a lot of potential because light tanks really don't shine until the second half of the game, where there's a lot of cleanup, a lot of exploiting your camouflage, view range, those kinds of things. So the main reason I wanted to show you guys this replay was really just to show you how versatile you can be with your light tanks. Again, the ELC has a horrific DPM, and I'm not going to be able to really do a whole lot of damage just because of the 30-second reload on the entire clip. But I mean, I could be pushing the other side now that we've won. That would definitely be beneficial, but I'm also pressuring that King Tiger from pushing and flanking our guys. The fact that I put a couple shots into him lets him know, hey, by the way, there are tanks here, and if you push out, you will be fired upon. So again, I'm just adding a little pressure. I see our Hellcat pushing around to the side, and I'm thinking maybe he's going to push in and kind of try to help flank, and I decide that, okay, maybe I'll join him and see what he's up to. But then I realize that there's really not much of a good angle over here, and I don't really play this side of the map too often, and I'm just like, you know, that's not a great angle for the ELC. My main advantage is I'm so small and I have really good camouflage that if I keep my distance, I'll be able to engage and not get lit. And honestly, with the way this game is going, it could be anybody's game, and so I want to maintain as many hit points as possible. So the KV-85 is giving me his front, and I'm able to easily penetrate him since he is a tier 6 vehicle. I don't really know if I can penetrate the Oni very consistently. The penetration on this gun is very, very low, and I am shooting solid gold in it because I'm really close to 3 marking it, but I don't think I'm ever going to get there just because it's such a hard tank to do consistent damages. I mean, this is a game where I'm doing decently, but a lot of games I'll spawn in tier 10 and just get like one-shotted or get like 2 shots in and then die. So this this tank has really tested my patience and skill as a light tank player. So I'm going to peek up here, and I'm hoping to spot this tiger, and I'm not sure if this bush is going to cover me, and it doesn't. And I realize, what am I doing? I am way too far up against these guys. I need to just fall back to a position where I can actually shoot at this King Tiger effectively without taking damage from the tanks on the one line. So I wait a few more seconds till I'm unlit, and then I decide, you know, I'm gonna just get a little bit more distance before I engage him. So that is exactly what I do. I realize that there's a bush right here, so I'm like, yeah, you know what, this is perfect. So I'm gonna drive up into the bush, I'm gonna spot that tiger, and this guy seems pretty oblivious, and I'm gonna put a shot into the side of his turret. Unfortunately, I hit his upper hull. It's okay though. 2 shots in. Really would have been nice if I could have finished him off, but that's okay. And now I have to wait 30 more seconds. And so this kind of back and forth is a little bit boring. And you got to understand that light tank play, much like low tier play, a lot of people, you know, you have a high horsepower, high top speed vehicle, and it's going to be really easy to throw your tank away with the lack of armor, lack of HP. You get bored, or you feel like you need to be doing something in order to farm, you know, damage, farm, assisting damage, and whatnot. And people want to always be doing something, and it's really, really easy to die early in the game. And as you can see, both teams have been reduced to 1 light tank, me being obviously the one on our team, and then the AMX 1357. Now the 1357 is a nasty, nasty tank. Thankfully, I predict that he was going to push there, and I was able to line up a shot. He can easily clip me out and kill me, I believe, with his gun. He has 10 rounds in his little auto loader that do, I think, 75 damage a shot. So I think if he rolled high on a few shots, he could definitely clip me out. I don't have the gun depression to fire upon him, and so I decided, okay, maybe I can pen this T-28 prototype. Tried to go for his commander's hatch. Unfortunately, 1 missed, 1 just didn't penetrate at all. And I need to keep moving just because Artie is going to try to focus me down. Now I have a couple options here. I could go to try to support the King Tiger on the hill, or I could try to take out this AMX 1357. I almost am reloaded. I have about 10 seconds left. I decide I'm unlit. He has no idea, and he's too busy clipping that if I approach him, he is not going to know what hit him. Now there's a King Tiger here too. Now I have a difficult choice to make. Unfortunately, my first shot completely misses, or else I would have been able to finish off both of these guys. Really, really stupid play on my part. I know this guy's going to be reloaded soon, so I put 1 more into him. I'm trying to drive as evasively as I can, but I know he's going to reload almost twice as fast as me, and I need to keep my distance. And so we're just, this 1357 and I will just dance around continuously because we are each other's biggest threat. Once one of us dies, it's pretty much going to be game from there because we have so much maneuverability. I'm going to get myself up into this bush here, and I'm going to try to put a shot into this 1357 and hope to take him out. He takes a shot from the King Tiger, and I have no idea where that shot went. Really unfortunate I was not able to take him out right there, and honestly that mistake could cost me the game, just because if he catches me in a reload, he will easily be able to clip me out with my reduced HP at this point. And it looks like he did 89 damage and 84 damage to me, so maybe the average damage of that gun is 85. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I believe it's a 10-shot autoloader, but it could be maybe 8. Again, I'm not super familiar with the vehicle, even though I own it. I'm sorry. So I decide it's due time to go hunt some artillery. We have a T-29 left and a Hellcat, both on the western half of the map. Unfortunately, our T-29 just gets killed by their Oni, and now we have the Hellcat all alone over there. Now, it's in my best interest to go try to support that Hellcat the best I can, but I'm already all the way over here, so I'm going to do my best to take out artillery and then move that way during my reload. Now, I'm not sure if I get lit here. Yes, I do. And so that's why I hesitated a second to fire, just because I thought, okay, if I can double bush there, I can keep myself from getting fired upon. Now, the AMX 1357 fired at me once, and then he didn't fire at me again, meaning that he's probably down in the H1 area, maybe, possibly, defending his artillery. Or maybe he only had 1 shot left in his clip, which I doubt. So I just need to relocate and go help our Hellcat as soon as possible. Even if I die, or I'm sorry, even if he dies by the time I get there, the Oni has a very long reload. So I got to take advantage of the long reload and do what I can. So here are 3 one-shot vehicles, and our Hellcat's being swarmed. Now, I'm going to try to do my best to take out that 13-7 first. So I totally mess that shot up and fire at the dead hull of a vehicle. And I'm going to just use my momentum here. The worst thing I could do here is slow down or stop, because artillery could track me, and that 1357 could easily clip me out on my long reloads. So I'm going to try to get as much distance as possible. Now look at the map. If you see what the AMX is doing, he's actually not trying to chase me. He's actually running from me. So I see that and I turn around thinking, okay, he's doing one out of two things. One, he's going to be going to A1, A2 and try to flush out artillery, which in my opinion would be the right move to do, the smart move. Or he could be afraid of me for some reason, and he could be going down the one line. Maybe he's not familiar with the AMX, or I'm sorry, the ELC Even 90, and maybe he's heading straight down the one line, hoping that I will pursue Artie that way. I'm going to just go with my hunch and push up to the A1, A2 line, hoping that I can flush him out. If he's not here, my guess is that he's moving down to H1 to protect his artillery, expecting me to do what I am expecting him to do, which is to hunt Artie. I'm thinking, okay, since he's not here and he's not that fast, I would have probably spotted him at this point if he was around here. My guess is that he went back to protect artillery. If he is familiar with the ELC Even 90, he knows I only have 3 shots. And if I shoot, or a very long reload anyway, and if I go down there, clip Artie, if he uses Artie as bait, he's going to jump at me and kill me in my reload, which, you know, that is a smart move. He could be laying an ambush for me. So the fact that he's not killing Artie, and he would have definitely been lit by our artillery, the SU sitting in the north. You know, it's kind of a mind game at this point. Light tank versus light tank with artillery on either side. I want to, you know, I have the upper hand just because I have more HP than he does, and I have more camo, about the same top speed. And I'm going to just pop up here. I still have 3 minutes left in the game, but I don't want to, you know, dilly-dally too much. I have really good view range on this thing. The fact that I haven't lit him, I'm not going to wait that much longer, just because I want to have the opportunity to catch him and Artie. And, you know, depending on when that happens, I want to have a 30-second buffer so that I can go ahead and reload my entire clip if it comes to that. So it's funny. In the chat, people are saying that the ELC is overpowered and it should be a tier 9 vehicle, which is kind of laughable because I would think that the 1357 is actually a stronger tank tier for tier, and that the ELC Even 90 should be a tier 7 vehicle. But you guys can talk about that in the comments below. Let me know, do you think the ELC is overpowered, underpowered? I think in the right situations, it's an absolute little demon, a little troll that will make your life a living hell if it's in the right hands, but it's so situational and so awkward when you go up against a tank and you leave them on like 5 HP and you have to sit there for 30 seconds trying to circle them or hug them to do the best you can. So anyway, getting down to the wire here, 2 minutes left, I decide, okay, artillery has to be sitting in H1. And so I want to just point out what I do here. Okay, here's the situation. Artillery gets lit. He's about 200 meters away. Most light tank players in this situation would say, aha, there's artillery. I'm going to go either stop and fire, get myself lit. I almost am certain that I am not lit in this situation because I'm far enough away and I have good enough camouflage. And a tier 7 artillery does not have good view range. So again, I have the choice to go straight at that artillery and fire upon him, or I could stop and fire upon him. But you have to understand, I just circled the entire map. That 57 is setting a trap for me. I'm almost certain of it, and I think he's going to be hiding in J1 or H1. And if I fire on this guy, even if I don't get lit, I'm giving away my position, and I'm letting him know, hey, I'm reloading right now. And he's going to come after me and kill me, and that's going to be the game. So, doing what I think is right in my mind, I'm going to completely ignore artillery, and here we go. Sixth Sense does not go off. So now I have to assume, okay, when I come around this corner, that AMX 1357 has to be sitting here. I have to be careful because I don't want to get spotted by artillery. And sure enough, look at him. There he is. Totally using his own artillery as bait, hoping that I'll come down and get lit by that artillery as I pass through, which I swung wide enough around, so I didn't. No, I'm going to wait for Sixth Sense to, or I'm sorry, for myself to get unlit, fake a right, hoping artillery will, you know, be pointed to the right. Unfortunately, this guy's a good player. He read the bluff. He's looking right at me. He's coming at me to charge. I take my time to aim, and I'm able to finish him off. So I actually don't know. I think that was a 4v1, 4v2. I guess we had an artillery the whole time. But hey, it was a pretty good game in my ELC Even 90. I decided to post this. You know, not the best game I had for sure. I've done a lot more games where I've been spotting a lot, but this was a pretty high damage game for me in this tank just because the damage output is so freaking low. But overall, top gun, 3,600 damage, 300 assist. I thought it was pretty fun, just kind of circling the map and trying to play, you know, a little bit of chess with that AMX 1357. And if you're watching, Light Tank Player 1357, it was a good game. I enjoyed playing mind games with you. And for all of you that are watching that want to get better at light tanks, realize that the light tanks, even the ELC Even 90, have strengths, right? Speed, camouflage, and decent firepower if used correctly. Even this thing. So if you can utilize those correctly and take advantage of the enemy on even a map like this, you know, it's not the biggest map, but you can definitely have your fun using it as your playground. So don't YOLO in early in the game. Again, the point I'm trying to drive across showing you this replay is point 1, stay alive. Point 2, play to your strengths. And point 3, try to read your opponents. And overall, you know, again, I'll try to do more light tank replays because I know you guys like those, but hopefully this was somewhat educational for you guys. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like down below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. As always, guys, really good playing with you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later.